I'm not able to see the panelist.
Yeah, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, yes. Audible.
Yeah. Uh, Very good morning,
Good morning, sir.
panelists, participants, and our honor Vice Chancellor and the entire faculties of SBM, those who have joined with today's webinar on a very topical topic on managing productive industrial lessons during COVID-19 pandemic. The webinar is designed to deliberate one of the important subject matter, that is, we have three HR stalwart as a panelist to deliberate on this topic, managing positive industrial lessons. To start with, once again, I welcome all the three panelists. Mr. Radheshan Mahapatra, who is the Director HR of NALCO. Sri Prakash Chandra Panda, Senior Vice President and Head HR India Power, and Dr. Debabrata Das, Vice President HR and Admin of MSPL Bodhata Group of located at Hospet. Currently, he is staying at Bhubaneswar due to lockdown. All these three panelists, I am going to have a brief introduction. Before we start deliberation on this. Now, as a rituals, let me share 1 minute about our SBM University. I privileged to join SBM University recently, about a month back, as a professor OB and HR. After being completed of 34 years of my professional career working in various industries in different capacities. The last one was Larsen and Toubro, Kanspal was as a head HR. Subsequent to my superannuation, I of my own way, because that was my dream to start my second next to the academics. So I have chosen the SBM, one of the best university of India, and started my career in the second innings in the academics. As all of us, we know about the SBM University. I will not tell much. SBM was established in 2006 and enjoying the status of universities from 2000. The university is known for rewriting the mantra of excellence. And as you know, the university founder and the president is none other than the management guru, Professor Biswajit Patnaik. And we have our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Mr. Rai, and Pro Vice Chancellor, Falguni Madam, and the Register, Mr. Manmat Samantrai. And to best of my knowledge, because I am new to the university, what I find, the entire faculties are very rich in their academic and the teaching experience. Having this introduction about ASBM University, I will now quickly switch over to introduce our panelist. Now to start with, let me introduce Sri Radheshyam Mahapatra, who is currently Director HR of one of the Navaratna public sector undertaking, National Aluminum Company located at Bhubaneswar. He has 3 decades of hands-on experience working with the power, oil, coal sector. Prior to joining NALCO, he was the Director HR in CCL located at Ranchi. He has 30 years of hands-on experience, and I proclaim that Mr. Mahapatra is a stalwart and influencing HR professional of the public sector undertaking, because all through his career he worked with the public sector undertakings. He believes in the teamwork. His interest is the rural development, eco-friendly work environment, creating the best of the working atmosphere, balancing work life, and transforming the HR to act as a business partner. To move with the second panelist, Mr. Prakash Chandra Panda, who is currently Senior Vice President HR and Head HR at India Power, located at Kolkata. He has also 3 decades of hands-on experience working in the various companies in the retail, telecommunication, power, manufacturing industries like Star Cement, Reliance Communication. He has his own HR domain strength of also managing the people in a right perspective to build the organization as HR partner to business. My close friend, Dr. Debabrata Das, who has associated with the SBM also in the past. He is a tech HR professional. By profession, he has acquired an engineering degree, also the HR PGDM. He has 2 decades of experience. His past portfolio was CHRO in Tata LH Limited. Recently, 6 months back, roughly 6 months back, he joined as a VP HR and admin in MSPL group located at in the learning and development. He has a multi-facet of experience of dealing with the people in the power sector and automobile sector as well in the past. He is a certified competency mapping professional. He has many digital HR initiatives while working with the Tata Motors at Jamshedpur. This introduction is a snapshot. This introduction is a bird's eye view for our panelist. More so, due to paucity of time, I am not going to address because they are such a pioneer in their field, which needs a hour of introduction of all the 3 panelists. So kindly bear with all my friends a little bit of introduction of you. Now we'll start the topic. Let me set the context of the topic, managing positive industrial relations during the COVID-19. As you know, that the pandemic has started 2020. It has its second wave now in 21, and we anticipate also the third wave. We are not sure, but most of us out of the research, we are anticipating the third wave may also come after 3-4 months. And the researcher and the other things, science also predict that the third wave will be more critical. With this kind of background, if I rightly perceive, the time is very tough and very critical. Nearly half of the global CEOs do not expect the normal before 2022. Across the globe, we have witnessed the lockdown, shutdown, containment zone, night curfew, restrictions on the movement, quarantine, RT-PCR, RIT, before you move anywhere, before you enter to your workplace. These are the COVID protocols. People have no choice but to limit their movement anywhere with following the COVID protocol. Using mask, glove, sanitizer, hand wash are the day-to-day common activities which impacted every human being. Working from remote, the concept of working from remote was conceptualized a couple of months back, years back. And the pandemic has forced the corporate world to reimagine its workplace, and workers' well-being, safety. Every organization has re-evaluated, re-examined, revisited to their people policy in terms of how they are going to get engaged instead of coming to the workplace, working from remote. Digital way of the managing the workforce and the work process, procedure and practices are the only way. As you come across all those kind of workplace say stipulations with COVID pandemic protocol, managing the industrial lessons became definitely a challenge. That is a challenge with the industry leaders. That is a challenge with all the HR leaders. How to mitigate the challenge and manage the positive industrial lessons in such a crisis, which is a pandemic, which is a crisis across the globe, and move forward. The most vital point to address with this webinar, that is how we want to manage the business continuity. That is operational continuity of the business, how to take forward the employee safety, health and well-being, how to nurture the culture of working from home and remote, how to effectively communicate all the stakeholders so that there is no adverse effect on the industrial relations, how to avoid the litigation and risk-free environment at workplace, managing the COVID protocol, how to address the troubleshooting of managing the workplace with the COVID protocol, more important, managing the human capital out of the curiosity, anxiousness, chaos, and the vulnerability. Volunteer all the stakeholders so that there will be a positive impact on the industrial lessons, and the business continuity will be there, and the industry will not suffer a lot because of the pandemic. Those are the bird's eye view and the snapshots to be addressed by all our three panelists, and we will take time 10 minutes, roughly 10 to 12 minutes for each panelist to address and answer from our participants and conclude the. Now we will move starting from Mr. R.S. Mahapatra, the Director HR, to setting the context and rolling the ball ahead to deliberate on this topic. Mr. Mahapatra.
Thank you, Dr. Ratikant Das, for the opportunity you have given to me on behalf of ABSM University, Bhubaneswar. It is indeed a pride moment for me as well to participate and also to learn more things so that the industry sector, particularly my company and other companies in the periphery, will benefit from this virtual meeting. So I also respected panelists Prakash Chandra Pandit, Dr. Devbrat Das, and the Vice Chancellor of the University, Mr. Roy, Pro Vice Chancellor, Mrs. Falguni, Madam, and all the participants and all the panelists. It is indeed a great moment that we are able to discuss the issues which the country is facing, which the industry is facing, and how to mitigate those problems what we are facing during this pandemic. As you know, the problem has come. You will never mature without facing any problem, without facing any challenge. So the bigger the challenge, the bigger we are more mature after overcoming the problem. The stronger we become after overcoming the issues, problems, and in this case, the pandemic has really taught us many things, and we are becoming stronger with passage of time. To be successful in any field, including industrial relations, we need to solve the complex problems with a passion. Everyone has some passion to resolve the issues and also we welcome more and more challenges and we resolve them and we come forward. So the industrial relations, maintaining positive IR is really a big challenge as well as a scope to improve ourselves, to know our hidden energies, hidden talents. Industrial relations evolve around the culture of the organization, around the policies of the organization, and how we adapt people, how we communicate with people is more important than anything else. So during this crisis, we have learned a lot and we are yet to learn a lot to know about the situation, real life situation, and the book is theory. You know, all our technologies have brought down to the powers of this tiny invader, the invisible enemy, expanded its force throughout the world and stirred the world. India is no exception, but with the passage of time and our knowledge, we are able to overcome the issues, overcome the problem, and we are trying to make India's progress rolling. We are working on that. Although physical distancing is the need of the hour, but social distancing is not going to make the enemy go away. So rather than a society as a whole, we must try to uh, work against the virus, and we have to get back to our strength of being able to new solutions of new working environment. Despite all the odds, we will try to overcome the issue and we work with each other in collaboration so that the problems of the society, particularly the industry, is mitigated. We have many challenges in the field of HR, particularly industrial relations, maintaining good relation with employees despite the so much difficult situation. So every organization has come up with new employee policies to face the pandemic, and also first concern is employee safety, for which vaccination program is going on with each and every organization in the periphery of the organization where villagers are staying, where from our contract labor are staying, and also in colonies where our employees and their families are staying. So massive vaccination program is going on. NALCO is no exception. NALCO is also doing the best to improve the condition of people, particularly the periphery village people in the areas of mines and other plant areas of the company. So we have been trying to help the people, all the villagers, nearby villagers of the plants and our mines, so that we are able to help people in this crisis time. Many people from the office, they are working from home. The office work from home culture has developed. At present, 10% of the office people are coming, other rest are working from home at offices. Whereas in plants, really it is very interesting to know that last year, despite all the odds, the targets were achieved, and even in some areas, we have achieved more than the designed targets, more than the targets set by the company and the government. So it is really an opportunity also to learn more things. Despite the uh, uh, difficulties, we could able to achieve more than the target set. The we have developed also many strategies so that we are able to communicate with people, communicate with unions, associations, villagers, and also our different stakeholders. This open-mindedness has helped us, and also the people have come forward with different big ideas how to resolve the issue, how to face the challenges, and really it has helped us in our productivity as well. The employee engagement through different media, different virtual mode has helped us to continuously communicate with our employees, trade unions, associations, and other stakeholders. Active engagement of the employees, despite the a ban on movement of people from place to place, from plant to headquarters or anywhere. So despite all the odds, the virtual media has helped us, and we could able to improve our mode of communication very frequently. Physically, we were meeting before the pandemic, but now we are regularly at a constant interval. We are meeting very often with the people on virtual mode, with the unions, with the associations on the virtual mode. So this has helped us, and everybody knows the crisis, everybody knows the depth of the problem. So they have been cooperating for the company, and which resulted in maintaining good industrial relations. There is zero manpower loss during the last year and during this part of the new year. So we hope that with continuous interaction with people, communication with people, and also with open-minded working has helped us a lot in improving our work style as well as facing the challenges. You know, the job enrichment for greater engagement, people have been assigned more tasks because people have the ability, they have the capability to work as compared to their presently they are doing. So this has helped, despite the shortage of manpower, despite the difficulties. People have come forward to help themselves as well as the company to grow, company to make the productivity. So the changing industrial relations environment has certainly gave a challenge to us, and we should overcome those by continuous communication with people, continuous communication with all the stakeholders, and also motivation to our employees with constant fervor so that they can also do their best and contribute their best, because the employees at the plant level, at the unit level, they are prime movers. If they are happy, they are motivated, certainly they will work with the zeal, with the same enthusiasm with which they were working before the pandemic. So this challenge has created new habits among people. The staggered work schedules has certainly changed the style of working, and small group work teams have been created to meet the immediate challenges as well as the medium and long-term challenges. And the biggest the benefit of this is that cross-functional project teams have been created to face any sort of problem in the long term as well. So the redefining the work relationship model, demonstration of a high degree of empathetic quotient to develop mutual trust with shared responsibility and accountability. During this pandemic time, the trust level of people have increased like anything. The union leaders, the industrial relations, the employee relations leaders, they have been practicing the practice of transparency and trust. This I have learned, and this also is not found in any book, but the transparency has certainly improved our trust level. So, in order to improve the productivity as well as employees' health, we have been doing the best in as far as hygiene is concerned, as far as the safety of our people are concerned. Although social distancing is maintained, but the, the relationship between people has certainly increased a lot as compared to period before the pandemic. New work from home norm in offices has increased the technical capability of people which we were unaware before the pandemic. So this pandemic has created havoc, but at the same time, many benefits have also been enriched. We are enriched with many benefits like work from home, use of technology, and also improving communication skills and trust among our people. So this has helped us to improve our productivity. Challenges are no doubt enormous, but the organizational intervention at personal level, at social level, at psychological level, we have tried to face through the people's emotions. So they have also developed the belongingness more as compared to previous years. The HR managers have been working as role models in our plants, in our mines, in our company to embrace new work habits among people and bring the transformation and also the change in work behavior and work habits as well. So we have been trying to do our best during this pandemic, and major issue is the health issue. We are trying to improve the health, maintain the health of our people and their families, the people in the periphery of the villages, of the plants and in the mines, and we are taking all the medical care, also COVID care to these people. Our HR has been very constantly communicating with each of the stakeholders and building confidence and in the workplace as well as family life. So the awareness we are trying to create is quite visible. So we are able to control the COVID and the pandemic. In this case, we are helping in case any employee or family of the employee or any villagers nearby if gets COVID infected, we immediately take them for treatment in our COVID care centers and maintained at different plants, as well as also in nearby COVID care hospitals. We are also sponsoring COVID care hospital at Navarampur, Jaipur, and also tomorrow on first another 150 bedded COVID care hospital will be started at Angul. So we are trying to do our best, and so that our employees, our families are quite good and their belongingness to the company increase and they contribute to the company and nation at large. So we are taking care of the health of the people during this pandemic, and this has built strength among our people, and they are encouraging us to do more such things so that the company production level of the company sustains and also profitability of the organization grows despite all the odds, despite all the problems. So we are trying to use the social media as well to create awareness among the people, among the employees, and we are trying to digitally enable our employees so that they can communicate with them, so that they can communicate among themselves and also in different media. So this is the IR tool will certainly take a new dimension with the passage of time, and we will certainly communicate more with the unions, associations, and who ultimately are a backbone of our industry and any other industry. I thank for giving me this opportunity, and we will deliberate more with the passage of time, and also physically also we will meet and discuss more such things for the growth of the industry, for the growth of the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mahapatra. Very, very insightful deliberation on the industrial relations. There will be a question answer by the participants. Let us finish the deliberation. Now, quickly we'll move on to our second panelist, Mr. Prakash. Switch over to Mr. Prakash Chandra Panda to deliberate on positive aspects of industrial relations during COVID pandemic. Mr. Panda.
Yeah. Hi, good morning, everyone, and thanks, Dr. Vishej Patnaik and Dr. Ratikant Das for inviting me to deliberate on a very interesting topic with eminent panelist, Mr. Radheshyam Mahapatra and Dr. Debabrata. Am I audible?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. And good morning to all the faculty members, Vice Chancellor, Pro Vice Chancellor of OSBM, and there are faculties from other institute, I believe, also are there. Asit Mahapatra sir, good morning to you, and all the participants as well. I think this topic is very interesting and very apt. But before we get into the positive industrial relationship, also look at what is the organizations are all about, what is the various category of the organization, and based on that, what kind of strategy some of the organizations will have, and then I will discuss about what is in my own organization, what we are doing basically. So if you look at, there are various, when it talks about a industrialization, positive industrialization, obviously you look at various organizations. One is traditional organization, one is progressive organization, family managed organization. If you look at the size, large corporates, public sector, mid-size organization, your MSMEs, profitable organization, struggling organizations, service organizations, manufacturing organizations. Obviously, each of the organizations will have their own strategy, and strategy for growth, strategy for sustenance, strategy for survival, and strategy for revival. When pandemic, it's a first time mankind we have seen in last, maybe a 100 years. Obviously, you can't do there is no case study because this kind of pandemic was never there. And it is all about a scenario planning. What is the best class scenario? How do you actually, continue the growth journey? How do you sustain the existing performance, business performance, business continuity? How do you, revive if there is setback? And how do you survive if there is a little bit of challenges there? I think, and also one thing which has happened during last at least 1.5 years is, there are 3 different kind of workplace. One is a physical workplace, still it is continuing because COVID or no COVID, manufacturing setup, many of the organizations, you don't have any choice. You will have to be there in the workplace. Second one is obviously digital, so work from home. Many IT companies, many of the corporate, majority of the employees are in the digital mode. Remote working is a way of life now. And third is a physical mode, that is physically and digitally. As and when required, people can go to the office. As and when required, they can, so that, the whole idea is how do you, propagate the COVID appropriate behavior in the workplace, whether there is a government directive or not, MHA directive or not, company need to have their own strategy so that you are actually contributing significantly in terms of a kind of a zero COVID, a kind of zero casualty and zero hardship in the organization. I think, morning I got a very good morning message from one of my very close friends saying that when life gets blurry, that is invisible, adjust your focus. And where focus goes, energy, flows. I think this is a very apt thing because I'll tell you, when some of the large corporate, they announce that there will be a job cut, salary, loss will be there, or position will be not available. So all this kind of, if the profitable organization, then obviously it creates a lot of panic in the entire, industrial setup. But I think, and some companies, they always follow practices like, जहाँ पे बारिश में बेचा अच्छा इन लोगों ने तो मैन पावर कम कर दिया, we also should reduce. इन लोगों ने तो hardship दे दिया, we should. I think that is not the strategy. You have to look at that. Every single, at this point of time, every single individual employee must be treated like a human being first, then as an employee. Entire perception will change automatically. I think with this, background, I must tell you that I'm quite fortunate that I'm part of an organization which is again essential service. I head the HR for the distribution, power generation, renewable, and some of the services like power trading and smart metering. So for each of the, like I say, different organizations have a different strategy. In our own organization also, at a group level, at a corporate level, we have a different strategy. For distribution, there is a different strategy. For generation, so I think as a whole, if you look at, I think it has been a highly challenging year, but I'll call it a exciting challenges because when the corona started a year and a half back, I mean maybe March, April 2020, there's a lot of panic. Obviously, we also little bit little overprotective as to how the way of work should be. How do you facilitate the employee? Overnight, you have people have moved from a physical workplace to digital. And how do you give the best of support? I think we have taken this threat as an opportunity. And, as a HR team, as a leadership team, part of the people managers, I think we took a decision that, yes, we reach out to every single employee, make sure that they are working physically or digitally, because in power distribution, it is 24/7. And, the turnaround time, that means the customer complaint, you have to provide power distribution to 24/7 to the area that you are working. And obviously, maybe some of these, small organizations or industrial organizations are not working. Obviously, there is a revenue dip. But we could, in the Q2, Q3, Q4 of last financial year, we did extremely well. And therefore, the next thing we did is, mark to the market. That means what other power distribution, have done. We have done better than that in terms of the, employee benefits. So, for example, no job loss, no salary cut, no hardship being given, completely fixedly working. if somebody has got a some kind of COVID symptom or any kind of health issues, we have given them full support, and the financial year has been extremely good in the sense that zero casualty, zero challenges in terms of business continuity, and end of the year, my employees have got the market driven benefits in terms of the increments, in terms of the performance link incentive, in terms of the promotions and other benefits. I think that is something has been good. Obviously, initially we had a strategy. We spoke to the union also. That yes, I think the critical things are non-negotiable. That is, salary has to be given on time. However, some of the benefits were deferred because you have to also look at the cash flow. The third part is some of the luxury costs have been reduced because you have to differentiate what is a good cost, what is a bad cost, and good cost must be the investment of people. Many companies thought that maybe this is the time it will be very difficult to pay the salary on time and revenue there is a dip. But we look at the profitability angle from both input and the business, the cost, and therefore we could maintain the profitability, and therefore we could able to also invest on the people. Throughout the year, we also make sure that some of the best of the talent also hired from the market against the attrition, against the retirement, so that we could have a good, cost proposition, good productivity both in terms of the, employee cost to the revenue to, per person productivity. When it comes to workmen and the contractual level, I think we did little different in the sense that we spoke to the union. Union are very appreciative of the fact that yes, as an organization, we are taking care well for the people. We are promoting the COVID appropriate behavior. People who are in the field, they have been advised to have a proper masking, sanitation, so that there is no problem. They are also servicing the customer at the same time. They are safe also. So I think this has helped a lot. The second aspect also, we also started doing the experiential learning mode. Even workmen and contractual level, there are training. We call a model called Seva, wherein it talks about the customer, service and self management. And the third angle also we have started doing that. It's a fact that all of us will agree the fact that I think Indian organizations, we are carrying a lot of fat. That means yes, I think maybe 20, 30, 40% people are highly productive, and rest of the people are a contributor, and some people are a partial contributor or disengaged also. Now this is the time we give a very powerful message to the people saying that pandemic or no pandemic, some of the people are in the verge of retirement. So can you not plan your career for another 10, 15 years? So beyond retirement, what will be your life? So the moment you started giving this perspective, then people also started realizing, yes, I think we need to little bit contribute more. So that means when you have reduced the 10, 15% people who have left the organization by virtue of retirement, involuntary or voluntary, I think we took the advantage, and the less people deliver more. Like I think very rightly, Dr. Ratikant also said a context that what are the things which is happening? Most prepared organization also has a lot of challenges. How do you deliver more with less? And some of the things actually it always part of our strategy, and we are in the strategy. We always look at the business continuity, health, safety, well-being of the people, communication strategy, both online, offline, constantly engaging with the people, the employee stress and the psychological aspects, the social dialogue that is not only with the stakeholders, but also the one more social dialogues is basically when work from home. That means it is not only employee, it is with the family also. In the physical workplace, you have at times you can shout, you can have some kind of all this, but when you know that people are working from the home, our the work habits also gets changed. Actually, we need to be a little soft at this point of time. So many such things are there, and we time to time we send COVID advisory, the back to work, the new normal, the handbook for the people, basically specifically for the managing the COVID. I think some of the things worked very well, and I must share with you one good part of this is I think consecutively second year we got the CIHR excellence, and CIHR excellence also looks at various, the assessors look at various angle of how the leadership engagement in the improvement orientation, people well-being, what is the HR strategy, IR strategy of the organization, even including the outsource and contractual workmen, what kind of practices the organization is following, the people well-being part, organizational climate, the employee engagement part, the human resource practices, the processes. I think each of the area we could make a significant improvement in spite of the challenges of a work from home per corporate and many of the locations. I think this is about one of the sectors that I'm talking about, the distribution. while generation has been a quite challenge because of the coal linkage, because of the input cost and all, but then the year has been pretty good. The H1 is not that good. Like in distribution, the Q1 was not good, April, May, June. But in generation, the H1 is not good, but H2 we could recover. But what happens is, more important thing, if you look at, therefore we thought that, maybe the basics should be given and the benefits slowly when the company will become more profitable will, must give the benefit to the employee. So more importantly, you take care of the employee, they will take care of the business. As simple as this. And as very rightly, shared his perspective by, Radhesham Mahapatra ji, is basically it is all about transparency, openness, open dialogue, taking the stakeholder into confidence. And one more thing I strongly believe is basically what works well for us is what well for us is the setting a right expectations. I'll tell you how it is. In a locality, suppose you are working in Asansol, you are working in Haldia, in Kolkata, in some of the outside places like Nagpur or Indore. Each of the geography have their own challenges. Each of the locality have got various organizations. So it is not about the one size fits all, but you have to have a strategy looking at the particular locality, looking at your complementary industry, looking at the similar industry, what they are doing, can you do better than this? The moment you are doing better than this, acceptability will be very high. INEOM themselves will come and say that, yes, sir, we are very happy that at least the employee workman benefit has been given on time. And some of the things have differed. We understand the challenges also, and therefore it's fine. And we are among the top 3-4 organizations in this locality, wherein maybe one of the location we have few challenges, wherein some of the people also say that, no, I think we are not getting market-driven salary. So that means during Corona, people have expectations that we have to have a market-driven salary. That is also a wrong expectation. So we have to set a very right expectation saying that if you are profitable, if you are consistent, if you are looking for a short-term, long-term objective, and you are made, definitely employees will be taken care. But also, I also, when you talk about a positive industrialization, I also differentiate one more thing. What is the major differentiating factor is segregate your managerial employee and the workman and the other class. The managerial employee will have options COVID or no COVID. During COVID, people who are actually tax savvy, people savvy, they will have always opportunity outside the organization as well, and therefore attrition will be there. So you have a different strategy to retain them. You have a talent management practices, but the workman and contract labor, you have to deal with them. They are not going to leave you. But can you say that because you are not going to leave you, I can have a differential strategy? No. The answer is they also must be treated as a human being. They also must be given, and this is the right time also. We thought that during Corona, you have to enforce a lot of discipline. Maybe earlier we are tolerance level is a little high. Now there is a kind of zero tolerance. That means every single person, they have to discipline, and flexi working is there. But whenever they are coming, they must add value. So that means the people who are little partially engaged, and those have moved from a partially engaged to engaged. A lot of people who are engaged that got into highly engaged, and some of the people who are little bit of disengaged. Either we give a very strong message to be part of this organization and add value. So therefore, the union also supported. So the strategy is very clear that I think the people who are going to stay with us, can you think about their development, take them into confidence, look at the productivity, look at one more aspect which basically many organizations are doing. Obviously, the incentivization. I think it is not only restricted to the performance link incentive for the managerial level. Maybe it is one thought which we will have is in future, not about the fixed, the fixed salary has got a fixed mindset. Can you have something, so that you have build a pay for performance culture? Somewhere people know what is their earning potential. So therefore, they will be always interested to, contribute more and more. So basically, the philosophy of the performance management across the organization, that is actually we are trying to do futuristic is basically, if I'll make money when the companies make money, I'll make more money when the companies make money across the organization. This kind of mindset is definitely going to help. One more aspect, obviously, I'll also, like to touch upon that. I think the government, which is, also is coming out with this new, labor code, which is a very welcome move, labor reforms. I think, organizations like some of the public sector, Navaratna, or some of the large corporates, they have, a little bit of good strategy also for the workmen during COVID. If somebody is having any kind of what kind of additional benefit given, many companies will not be afford. But one thing is that yes, with lower labor code, in place, maybe 3 months, 6 months down the line, labor reform will be there, and it will also be add to supplement to the positive industrialization across the organization, across the pan India level. I think the new labor code, it provides several benefits to the employees, the contract labor, fixed term employees, gig employees. I think that is there. And it also will bring a lot of positive changes to the employers from in terms of, simplification of the definition, consistency of the definition. And most importantly, I think one of the area which will be very significant is basically the, the definition per se, of the wage is simplified, and it forms for the foundation of calculation of quantum and eligibility of the various social security. That means there will be a lot of standardization. Conflict comes when one party is trying to exploit the other one. So HR's role is to balance that. Management always expect that a lot of large corporates are not able to give the benefit. Why should I? Why should we? Similarly, union feels that why not? We get the benefit. Some section of employee will feel that we should always, work less and get more. So I think how do the HR balance this is basically the key challenge. I think with this you can always consistently create positivity through the organization. And let me tell you, I am a strong believer of one area. Being a Six Sigma black belt, I must tell you that in quality, the Kaizen is one of the concepts wherein the continuous improvement is a state of mind. You always look at zero cost improvement. So without any benefit given to the employees, workmen, union also, with a constant dialogue, setting a right context, right expectations, you can always build positivity in the organization, and therefore conflict will be minimized. It may not be zero because every human elements have got a different mindset, but you can always manage the large section of the employees, large section of the people, the union and the management. I think that's the role of HR, and I'm quite confident Corona is going to stay. First phase, second wave, third wave, whatever wave the virus is there. But we have to come out with a lot of creative solutions to deal with this and continue to create positivity across the organization. And once again, thank you very much, Dr. Srikant Das, Dr. Biswajit Patnaik, Vice Chancellor of ASBM, and Pro Vice Chancellor and the faculties. Thank you very much. And thanks the participants for your patience hearing.
Once again, thank you, sir. Thank you for your very influential aspects of highlighting the positive industrial relations and specifically referring to the essential service, the power distribution and generation from your company perspective. It's very nice, sir. Now we'll quickly switch over to the presentation by Dr. Debabrata Das, who is going to make the presentation. I will request to Dr. Debabrata Das to complete his presentation on time. It's just left out for 10 minutes because we have to give justice to our participants for a question answer session for at least 5-10 minutes. Let us move to Dr. Das.
Very good morning to all. So before I proceed, just a check. Is my slide visible?
Yes.
So respected Professor Biswajit Patnaik, the President ASBM, respected Vice Chancellor, Pro Vice Chancellor, all the respected faculties, moderator of the session, Professor Das, respected faculties, my co-panelist, Director P&A, Mr. Radhesham, Mr. Panda. Very good morning once again to all of you. I am really excited to deliberate on this topic. And always I find the challenge as the last speaker, but however, I want to highlight some of the unique things which is really I am facing right now. And based on my experience in last 26 years, where I was a part of a public sector company, private sector company, now I am a group HR head of a business conglomerate where I am managing 7 businesses, right from mining, industrial gases, steels, pellets, wind power, aviation, startup units, shipping, and our corporate office. So this is a unique scenario where I have to give multiple propositions for multiple units to manage the COVID-19 pandemic. Having said this, I am a person who always takes interest in academics. So I don't want to, forget my fundamentals in academics, which we all have learned. So let me first highlight what exactly we mean by positive employee relation. What are the objective and key elements? To me, it's basically a culture. Culture means it is a collective behavior of a group of people who might be our employees, direct or indirect, might be some of our important stakeholders who are associated with the industry. This may be assertive in their context, and they should have a shared understanding between the management and between the stakeholder, and they are committed to the organization's values, priorities, and strategy. So values just stand as a fundamental belief for organizations. However, the priorities and strategy, they may get changed from time to time. If we look at the key enablers for a positive employee relation, so there are 6 things I want to highlight. One is your effective communication channels, the element of the trust, managing perception and beliefs. This is extremely important because you have got different cross-section of people, and during this pandemic, everybody is looking at HR, how we are going to manage this complexity across different organizations. Nevertheless, so there is code of conduct. Whatever we do, in whatever we behave, in what we communicate, whatever we extend help support, there is an ethic, there is a guidelines which is guiding every. Expectations has to be very, very clearly spelled out for every group, and conflicts has to be resolved. So these are the key enablers. And if I look to the 4 pillars, the employees must feel that they are treated very fairly. There has to be uniform fair treatment across different business. There has to be mutual respect between employees and management, and management has to invest with the human resources, because it is a time where I think we need to prepare our human resources for the future. It's not about COVID pandemic 1.0, pandemic 2.0, or somebody is telling the third wave may come, may not come. This is not important. Important is how we are building resilience in the organization, how we are building that resilience, how we are preparing our people to manage that uncertainty, and how basically they're coping up with the stress, anxiety that is coming out during this time, maintaining the business continuity. That is a bigger challenges. And finally, as an important pillar is constant and honest feedback. Feedback always acts as a feed forward. So there has to be a channel of feedback across different cross section. It is not only for a person who is sitting at a corporate, but a contract labor, a migrant workman, a vendor who is visiting your premises during this pandemic time. So this is something about the fundamentals. This fundamentals remains same. It is not going to be changed. Rather, this is going to be a guiding factor to manage this IR during this pandemic. So if I look at the issues and challenges during COVID pandemic, for me, I have identified there are a couple of things. One is the adherence to norms. The norms are, sometimes it is customized. Right now, most of the business operations are in the state of Karnataka. So suddenly before 2 days, we find there is a guideline that there is a complete lockdown, even though you are not allowed to, allow your people to enter your plant. At 11 o'clock night, the district magistrate given a notification that was circulated to all, and it has come to my notice, and we are all restless because our operational units like mines and pallet, they have to operate. We cannot stop it. So from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning, there is a constant dialogue happened, with the district authority. We convinced them. Finally, we got a pass to operate our plant. And even if, for up to 7, there is a complete lockdown. Now we are allowed to operate this plant, which is earlier not there, which is very unique to the state of the Karnataka. So state-wise, similarly, some of our operating units are at Bangalore, some are at Mumbai, some are at Bangalore, Hyderabad. So it is diverse. Some of the offices are different places. So we need to adhere to the norms, which has to be customized, looking to the different locations, complexity. Safety and well-being is the final first priority. People first focus has to be there, and we have to stay competitive. We operate one division that is called industrial gas division, where we produce medical oxygen. So this is in high demand. So here we have to supplement extra manpower to actually make that 24/7 operation and to cater to the need of the medical oxygen, not only to the state of the Karnataka, but also the neighboring state. Like today, I am proud to say that we are being recognized by the government of Karnataka for this noble act at this period for providing this, medical oxygen across these 3 states, and for which we have to start our plant, run our plant 24/7. Having said this, how can I effectively leverage technology? This is one of the key challenges. Because at an overall level, when I look at my workforce engagement today, 40% to 50% of my workforce is working remotely. What kind of technology support I must give? What are the platforms I must design? I must evolve over a time based on my learning from COVID 1.0. It is going to be helpful for me for the future. How can I cope with the change and unpredictability? Because COVID 1.0, 2.0 is not the end, not the beginning. There might be some other viruses, or there might be some other uncertainties which may come, which may impact my business, my line of business, my operations. Having said this, what is more important that how can I give a psychological security to my entire people who are associated with the group, and also the job stability and flexibility. Because during COVID 1.0, we realized that some of the migrant workmen, they have to leave the place. They have to go to the other place. And our business partners were at stress conditions because they are not in a position to give advance salary to some of the contract workmen who actually raised demand to take care of their family. So we learned something from COVID 1.10. Then if I look to the comprehensive year strategy during this pandemic, what we have done, so employee first is our first central element. Whatever we need to do, we need to think of the employee. And as I have earlier said, everybody is looking at HR, how they are actually coping up with this particular situation. So it is typically about 5 hours I want to present. One is the respond, that is how we connect and communicate with the different stakeholders, how we have done it. I will give some example. Then is the reinforce. How can we are ensuring physical, financial, and psychological concerns and business continuity? Third part is the reflect. What has worked and what we have learned. Very important to realize. Rethink workforce engagement model. The model is going to be hybrid model. As earlier speaker was talking of, the same thing. It is a combination of a physical world and a digital world. So is it really engagement? I don't think engagement is more important at this period of time. Engagement is there, was there. What is more important is employee experience. How you are able to make a one-to-one employee connect during this period of time. How can you actually give that safety net to your employee, to their family members, to tell them, yes, we are with you. And finally, the redesign. How can I look at my systems, processes, and policies for redesigning it? If I look at the response time, so we have a leadership, core leadership review that happens in every 7 days after March. We have a practice of virtual town hall meeting every 15 days. We are conducting this. We are interacting with the key stakeholders and opinion leaders. We don't have unions in any of our plants. This is a non-unionist environment, but there are opinion leaders across workmen, across contract workmen, and also our regular workmen who are very important for us. So we regularly touch base with them, regularly communicate our strategy, we take their feedback and decide a combined approach, agreed approach for our operational plants and offices. We also meet business partners. It is very, very important because if I look to the operation manning, you know, the 40% or 40 to 60% manpower is indirect manning. And these contracts are two types of contract. One is a manpower contract and another is job contract. So maintaining business continuity to ensure the availability of contract workmen during this period is a very, very vital thing for us. So we have a practice of meeting these business partners, understanding their issues, motivating them. And in one of the site, when there is a project activities happening, again, this is a different context. We have an IOBP, iron ore beneficiation plant that is at a peak stage of commissioning. So during pandemic, I am proud to announce that there is not a single day we have lost even a single contractual manpower. This has happened because of our proactive approach. We dealt with the business partners. We try to understand what are the skill mix and from where these people are coming. And in one of the cases, we have to reward one business partner because he has supplied this manpower in time. There is not a single deviation we have observed. We have a practice of daily dialogue with supervisors, workmen, and contract workmen. And finally, we have devised a Family Connect program that is happening in weekly once. If I look to the reinforcement part, here we are emphasizing on hospitalization support, health insurance, social security benefits. Very important. In a place like hospital, we find that yes, there are hospitals available, and around 10% of my employees and dependents, they are right now, they are positive cases and they have been advised for home isolation. But unfortunately, some of the people, they are forced bachelors. Their families stayed at different places. Some families staying in Bangalore, some of the families staying in Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad. So for them, we decided that why can't we create an isolation center? So we have taken a decision of creating an isolation center for these people who don't have the right facility at their home and they are really struggling, to take their food, take the medicine. So we create that center. Second important thing, what we realized, even if we have given a health insurance policy, because of the COVID surge, now the hospitals, they are not entertaining the cashless benefit. That's the reality in Karnataka. So immediately what we have decided that yes, whoever is hospitalized, all the hospitalization expenses will bear it. And finally, we'll settle it through a reimbursement basis with the insurance company. We don't want to burden any family. Similarly, people have started taking extra leave. So we need to revisit our policy and we need to give special leave to the persons who are hospitalized or the plant persons who cannot come to the plant because they have been advised for the isolation. So for them, we have sanctioned the special leave. Cash advances and loans is important thing. We have not only did it for our employees, also we have did it for our contractors. Because some of the contractors, they came out with a request that we want to pay advances to some of our skilled workmen who are migrant workmen, they need to go to the other states, otherwise they will move away. We cannot retain. Their family is staying at a different place. So we have to give cash advances to our business partners. Vaccination drive is another drive that strictly we are anchoring for all our employees and contract workmen. And we are looking for an optimum workforce engagement. It is a hybrid model of work, considering the IT infrastructure support that we are giving and COVID appropriate behavior. Finally, the mental wellness program. This is one program we have started. It is an online program with the help of some clinical psychologists and mental health experts. This program is done for various category of people across different plants, units, and also our corporate. Online learning platform is a huge opportunity for learning. Here we are, giving opportunity for all our people to encash this opportunity to go for certification program related to domain, to attend different functional training program. So by this, we also saved a lot of cost and efforts. So if I look to the reflect the rethink part here, it is a time to reflect our work design model. We are also reflecting all our organization structures, the roles, whether some of the roles we can permanently shift for a work from home kind of role permanently. And some of the roles, it will be mixed role where they have to come to the office for some time and they have to be, work from home rest of the times. For operating units, it is absolutely their physical process is important. So what kind of value proposition we can give in terms of their rewards, in terms of a recognition. Similarly, manning manpower mix is an important thing. So for our mines, for our industrial gases, for our pellet and gas, IOBP projects, the manufacturing plant units, we are rechecking, we are optimizing this. And finally, it is all about workforce experience by establishing a one-to-one connect. If I look to the redesigning part, again, we are coming out the concept of recognition to COVID warriors. It's very, very important. It is not only your employee. It may be a government officer. It may be a leader of the organization. It may be a manager. It may be a business partner. It may be a contractor. It may be a social activist. It may be a local land user who has actually helped you during the COVID. So we have come out with the concept of recognition of COVID warriors, and we are going to reward them. We are absolutely revisiting our compensation and reward policy, as already I have touched upon, by giving different value proposition for different working group. We are strengthening our remote working norms because remote working is going to be a part of life. We do not know how long this pandemic will continue or in future it will come or not. Well, we have gone for a workforce engagement model, employee lifecycle management, hire to retire. We are implementing SAP HANA. This is the time we have realized that we can reduce a lot of our activities through this. And we can make the process entirely automatic. We have started the onboarding, digital onboarding during this pandemic. So I am gladly announced that from March to this period of time, I have onboarded digitally around 30 to 35 workforce across Pan India. We are also rechecking all our norms like, exit and entry route. We are coming out a concept called hand wash break. Like whenever there is a break given per tree, we are just changing this concept. It is not a tea break. It's not that, somebody will go to washroom for cleaning. So we are saying that it is a hand wash break. So 15 minutes time it is given. Different welfare and amenities measures accordingly are set up in our operating units. So if I comprehensively look to the effective model during this example, we have formulated a COVID committee that is apex and location. We have started the continuous dialogue with operational opinion leaders. We have created a 24/7 COVID helpline to provide support. We are doing one-to-one dialogue with all COVID positive cases. 100% workforce working from home in various offices and startup units. We have given them IT support, which is very, very important. Working with strict adherence to the COVID norms. 100% contact manpower mobilization at project site. Financial assistance and advances, e-learning programs, virtual onboarding and induction, and all joint committee meetings with our workers representative in employee forums. That is being done right now virtually, and entire performance review discussions has been done virtually through MS Team. So just to conclude, from ER perspective, if I want to redefine COVID, for me, COVID is giving a lot of opportunities, a lot of things to redefine, redesign, and a lot of things to implement for improvement, even if there is issues and challenges. So I want to redefine COVID from your perspective. C stands for commitment for a lifelong learning. O stands for opportunity for meaningful engagement in physical or digital world. V stands for virtual collaboration. I for innovation. D for dexterity. It is all about thinking about the reskilling and upskilling of your entire workforce, who are going to play a very important role for all the times to come. Thank you. That's all about my presentation. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Das. Once again, it's a Excellent presentation covering the entire gamut of the positive industrial relations aspect. It was expected from you, sir. I know you since long that you will have a very good perspective to the designing the new industrial relations norms, and that exactly you have done. Redesigning, rethinking, reinforcement, and redefine the entire gamut of the industrial relation issues, more so in the manufacturing, mining, and the project-based sector. And that is most important in today. There are couple of questions and the questions are limited. That is why it is open to all the panelists to take up the questions by choice. There is no specific question